Welcome to Podnutz Daily, episode number 347. The show for computer repair techs by computer repair techs. This week is no exception. We have on the show Mr. Wise Technician. This is his new nickname. That's what I'm calling him anyway. You guys know him. You've probably seen a lot of him lately, and hopefully he has helped you out a bunch lately with the latest product that was released. Anyway, let me introduce him right now. It's Chris Barry from Technology Adventures, but more importantly, from wisetechnician.com. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, everybody. Yeah, what's going on? Wow, it's been a crazy 2.5 weeks. I moved my family, moved my business.
To Alaska?
You know, yeah, no, to what I call God's country. It's North Vancouver. It's absolutely the most beautiful place in the world. It's where I grew up. And we lived out of town for about 4 years, but I couldn't take it. And I've just been counting down the days until I come back. And now I'm back and I'm super happy, but completely exhausted because moving a business, 2 children, and an entire house in a 2-week time frame is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
We went, okay, well, let's put our house up for sale now because we want to move in June. 3 days after the house went up for sale, or 4 days, boom, sold. People went, we have to be in by March 15th. And we're like, oh my God. Okay, well, that's pretty fast. So we had 2.5 weeks to get all our stuff packed, get the heck out of the house, find another place to live because we didn't have a place to live, and move in. So, and you know, run a business, raise a family, all that kind of fun stuff. And, oh yeah, by the way, make some awesome videos.
Yeah, you want to tell us about that? I'll start it off. We might as well start this off now. And this show, we promise, is not going to be one big giant commercial. But Chris is the star of the Wise Technician computer repair videos at wisetechnician.com. If you've heard Chris speak before, that's what you get in this video times like a million, because it's me interviewing Chris, and it's flat out, I'm asking him the things that all the computer repair techs want to know, and you know how Chris' sales techniques are and how superb they are and how much money he brings in. He gives away all the ways that he does that, all his techniques and methods, how he does that. Did I get it right, or what do you want to add to that?
Yeah, it's pretty much me just telling you about the last 15 years of experience that I've built up in sales and retail, and this is my 3rd business I've started, so I have experience in starting a company. The other 2 were retail locations where they were appliances, actually, which is not the same but similar, still a service. And yeah, so it's just me telling you all about everything I've learned over the past 15 years of retail, of sales, of starting a company, and on doing it all successfully and making a lot of money. And I learned a lot of the stuff that I know from 2 ways, actually. One was from my father, who was in sales his whole life. So, 30 some odd years and very successful at it. And from a good friend of mine, his name's Sean, and him and me started the appliance business together. And he was probably the best salesman I've ever talked to or met in my life, even up to this day. And, he taught me everything I know, and I just wanted to teach other people. And I got to tell you guys, if it was up to me, this thing would be $129.95. So it's not. It's a lot less.
It is.
And if you haven't bought it yet, I don't know what you're waiting for. But again, as Steve said, we're going to try to make this giant commercial. I'm going to give a few tips here and there on stuff that are on the videos. But yeah, if you haven't bought them, go to it, www.wisetechnician.com, or you can sign up for. Go ahead, Steve.
Yes, we offer a discount for anybody who signs up for the Podnutz hot list. You just go to podnutz.com, just type your name and email address in the hot list column on the right-hand side there. You can't miss it. It's green right in your face. You will be instantly sent a 20% off link to the videos if you do that. And then you'll also be on the hot list. So you get all the latest discounts and weekly news and all that stuff. I have to say one more thing about the videos, because I worked with Chris on these videos. That's hence the Podnutz approved logo in the top right-hand column. And I did editing on these videos, and sharpened them up and put little music here and there and just did the editing type things. So I had to watch the videos through like 3 times after I actually did the interview with Chris. So it was like 3 times through completely for me. And I'm out of don't even have a computer repair shop right now. But as I'm watching these, every time I'm watching them through, I'm sitting there, I say to myself, oh my God, this stuff is awesome. I'm like, I should have applied this when I had my shop. And I was literally kicking myself every time and thinking to myself, I'm totally happy with this product, and it's so worth the money, because if anybody does what Chris says in these videos, you're going to make a boatload of money. You really will. I don't see how anybody can not double how much they're making right now in their business with these videos. I could be wrong, but that's just my point of view. So, all right, enough about that. Chris, what do you got for us this week?
All right. I wanted to just talk more about the wisetechnician.com video. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I just got a few. I haven't been doing a ton of jobs over the last month because, we just talked about it, the videos and moving and all the rest. But I do have a couple.
Yeah.
So computer repair jobs. I went and so I had a customer of mine, pretty good customer. He does graffiti removal. So his whole business is, he works probably, I'm assuming, with a lot of, districts and things of that nature, small cities that would call him and say, hey, we've got graffiti written all over here. Can you please come and remove the graffiti? Anyways, he's a good customer of mine. I see him at least once a month. And he has Simply Accounting, not Simply Accounting. What's the other one? The big QuickBooks, pardon me. He's QuickBooks installed in his computer, and it's Windows 7, and it's the computer I sold him. And every time he launches it, tries to start, and boom, crashes to the desktop. So he calls QuickBooks to try and get some technical support. And they said, we have no idea what's wrong. You're going to have to just uninstall QuickBooks and hope your data isn't lost and reinstall it, right? Yeah. So after 3 hours, that's what they told him. So he's like, well, I can't do that. So he calls me. I'm like, oh, yeah, no, we can fix that. I have no idea what to do because, that's obviously just what everyone says. Yeah, we can fix that. So I drive out there and I take a look. And sure enough, as soon as you started it up, QuickBooks fires up. It tries to start. It almost gets loaded and boom, crashes to the desktop. I go online, search Google, and I got to tell you, if you type in QuickBooks crashing,
oh man,
there's
I've done that. I've been there.
It's a never-ending supply of things to try. I tried the first 4 or 5, Google links and tried the thing and nothing. And I said, okay, well, this is we're going nowhere fast. And one of my favorite things to do, and I'm sure your guys is too, is I love to, if it's not a huge deal, is just to create a new user profile and transfer everything over.
Totally.
So first thing I did, just to make sure that was going to fix it, is I took his QuickBooks data, I saved it to a USB hard drive, created a new user, opened QuickBooks, pointed it to the new QuickBooks data folder, boom, QuickBooks opened beautifully. Perfect, great, problem solved, but not really because you have to move over Outlook and everything over. So no big deal. I just went back to the old profile, used Fabs to back up the entire profile,
Really?
Fabs auto backup, yep. Then went over to the new profile, recovered everything with Fabs, except his QuickBooks data because I had already done that. So, but everything else, Outlook, everything, with the whole job, everything was done within an hour, and everything was working, and he hadn't lost a stitch of data. And he's like, "Wow, so much faster because it's a new profile, right? It's not all the bloat and garbage."
Right.
And everything just went perfect. I love that fix. I love the new user fix.
Yeah.
It's just so simple and so easy in Windows 7. Anyways, it's a really, really nice fix. And I think the profiles just get corrupted somehow or something. I don't quite know why that's such a good fix, but it really does work. And with the help of Fabs, makes it a pretty simple job.
I used to do that without Fabs, and I love that fix. And good job on doing that, man. That is what I was thinking when you were talking about QuickBooks acting up. You brought me back, and I remember jobs I did with that. Yeah, starting a new user is it's almost like doing a reinstall. If sometimes it's like that clean of you go from that messed up of a user account to a brand new clean one. Yeah, that's a great fix.
Totally.
Yeah, but I can only imagine how cool it would be with Fabs.
Oh, so fast, right? It's like
Yeah.
push a button, sit, talk to the customer, it does everything. Boom. Because always the biggest pain is moving Outlook over,
Yeah.
and it doesn't bring over whatever that full file name is, the NFZ file or
Yeah.
whatever, the one
Yeah.
that the autocomplete file. But Fabs does all that, and you're like, oh, woohoo. And to the customer, it just works perfectly. And you're like, oh, that is fantastic. I love that. I love
Yes.
that fix. That's one of my favorite.
Good one.
Yeah, so that's one. So next one, another decent customer of mine, residential customer, calls her daughter's laptop. The screen won't go on. I'm not a huge laptop repair guy. I fix software stuff, not hardware stuff. I don't rip stuff apart. I don't change screens. I don't reball. I don't resolder. You know, the other guys can do that stuff. That's just, I'm not interested in that. But anyway, she's a good customer. So I said, okay, well, I'll take a look. I know how to do, not reballing, don't get me wrong. I know how to do like screen replacements and stuff like that. I just don't want to. So I can if I have to. So anyways, I brought the computer back to my shop and the screen was actually turning on. That wasn't the problem. What the problem was, is I was getting almost like a bad TV back in the day, you know, the lines across it and you can't really see anything. It just kind of gets fuzzy and sort of shaky on the screen.
Right.
And so first thing in my head, I thought, oh, that's a bad graphics card. That was my first thought process, or first thought, because it did have a built-in graphics card.
Right.
So I put a Ubuntu CD in just to test, and sure enough, same problem. Throw out Ubuntu.
Is it shaky, fuzzy graphics?
It wasn't shaky, fuzzy graphics. It was more like lines across it, like
colored lines.
Yeah, colored lines across it.
And they were not moving, right?
They were not moving. No, well, but it seemed like they were moving. But I think that was just because that was what I was seeing on the screen was moving.
I gotcha.
But yeah, they maybe weren't shaking as such. They were just colored bars and colored marks across it.
Yeah.
And so I put an Ubuntu CD in, same problem. It didn't go away. So without going any farther, it was a cheap laptop too. It was like a Toshiba, you know, $499 special or $549 special. It was 5 years old. Without going too much farther, I told her, you know, I don't think we should go much farther on this one here. It doesn't seem like it's software to me. Would you agree? It's probably not software.
Yeah, it sounds like a screen replacement to me. Were the lines there even on boot up in the BIOS and everything?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a bad screen. That's all.
Bad screen, yeah. So I tell people on that, you know, you could probably get it fixed. We could take it somewhere else. Again, I don't do this stuff, but you're going to be into it for $250. That's around about in my area. That's what you're going to pay even for a screen replacement is around $250. I know sometimes some other guys do it a little cheaper, $150, but give or take is $250. So anyways, she's like, oh, I'm not spending that kind of money. I wouldn't spend any more than $150 in this machine. And I said, no, we don't want to do that anyways. It's kind of a piece of crap. It was, again, it was about a 3 or 4 year old Toshiba. Yeah. Anyways, I don't fix those machines that are really the real cheap machines. Other people can do that. That's not what I'm interested in. So I told her, you know, you could take that somewhere else. She said, no. Okay. I said, well, why don't you buy a new one? She said, okay, well, I'm going to go to Best Buy or Future Shop, buy a new one. I said, okay, fair enough. Hung up the phone. That was the end of it. She called me back and she says, oh, I found this laptop at Future Shop. Future Shop is like our Best Buy. Yeah. And it was a Toshiba or a HP, one of the two, I can't remember, and it was around $679, somewhere in that area. Mm-hmm. And she said, is this a good computer? It's like a 15.4 inch, you know, HP special, you know, those ones they say Beats by Dr. Dre on them, like but they're garbage, right? and I'm like, no, that's not really a good computer. And she's like, oh, well, can you get me anything similar? And I said, well, I know you're concerned about price, so I can't match that price. I can't do $679, but I can get you a really nice Lenovo laptop, 14-inch, so it'll be great for your daughter at university. It's got a Core i5 processor, 500 gigs of RAM, or 500 gig hard drive, 4 gigs of RAM, Windows 7, comes with a 2-year warranty from Lenovo for $750. She said, oh, that's more than this. I'm like, yeah, but in 3 years, you're not going to be coming back to me with the same problem like you had with the Toshiba. It's a much, much better laptop. She hums and haws and finally says, okay, that sounds good. I'd rather have it from you. I'll take it. And then data recovery on the old computer is $179. So I recover data from the old computer and put it onto this person's computer. The reason I'm telling this whole story was, you know, I charged a little bit more. She got a much better laptop. And I did data recovery for $179 off the old laptop. So the whole bill came out to be about $950, and the laptop cost me $530 from my supplier. So I made $400 on a new computer sale, a laptop computer sale. On most people wouldn't have sold her that and probably would have said, go to buy it from Best Buy. That $679 one sounds good. You don't need to do that. There's lots of ways to buy these laptops and make money on it. Even if you